is Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.
Welcome to our show, number 1061, during which your humble host will narrate some Minnesota musings from naturalist extraordinaire Al Batt. We'll get some good and maybe surprising backyard bird info from the great Mike O'Connor. We'll offer a conservation salute to a community in Kansas. And since our plans to make a live connection with our globe-hopping friend David Clapp from somewhere in the forest of southwest Australia have hit a snag, we'll have a talented pinch hitter filling in that slot in the lineup. We'll start off with an audio postcard from a National Wildlife Refuge in Mississippi. Here's Jim.
Good morning, Ray and Talking Birds listeners. I'm here with some friends at St. Catherine Creek National Wildlife Refuge, not far from Natchez, Mississippi. It's a beautiful natural area. This morning I'm surrounded by yellow-billed cuckoo, red-shouldered hawk. You may be able to hear him calling in the background. Northern flicker, eastern towhee, yellow-breasted chat, Carolina wren, and a ruby-throated hummingbird just showed up as I was recording. Last night we were treated to innumerable herons and ibises and cormorants coming in to roost. If you get a chance, come and stay in the historic city of Natchez and make a few trips out here to the refuge. Ambassador Jim Randolph signing off. Good birding, everyone.
All right, good birding to you, Ambassador Jim. And wow, that sounds like one cool place. St. Catherine Creek National Wildlife Refuge, just outside of Natchez, Mississippi, close by the Mississippi River. We air audio postcards just about every week here on the show, and we invite you to send us one, whether you're at a National Wildlife Refuge or looking out into your backyard through your kitchen window or any place else. Just record what you're seeing and or hearing into a smartphone or other digital recorder, and then send the file to Ray at talkingbirds.com. That's Ray at talkingbirds.com. We have a conservation salute of the week to the leaders and people of Greensburg, Kansas, who embarked on giving their city a green rebirth after a devastating tornado in 2007. When instead of just rebuilding, the city committed to a sustainable future with 100% of its electricity coming from renewable energy sources like wind and solar. The rebirth also includes building new public structures to the highest green building standards, LEED Platinum, creating energy-efficient homes, and redeveloping its downtown to be a walkable, sustainable center. The site of a huge water well they call the Big Well was rebuilt and now serves as a museum that tells the story of the town's rebuilding and its resilience and its green transformation. So, Talking Birds conservation salute to the community of Greensburg, Kansas. Sounds like a nice place to visit or to live in. And this is our mystery bird. Familiar sounding bird, I think, to a lot of folks. Our mystery bird is a medium-sized member of the Picadee family. It has a black and white barred back and pale gray underparts with a red-tinged belly. Males have a red nape and crown. Females have the red nape, but little or no red on the crown. This is a preview, by the way, of our mystery bird contest coming along a bit later. Our bird is mostly non-migratory and can be found all over the eastern half of the U.S., lower 48 states, and parts of southern Canada. It doesn't drill into bark as often as some of its relatives, but when it does, it employs its long barbed tongue to extract larvae and other prey from holes and crevices. That's some info about our bird, and our prizes are beautiful, delicious as well. First, a big bag of our favorite coffee, shade-grown, bird-friendly, truly delicious, Birds and Beans coffee. We are very proud of our prize providers, including Birds and Beans. Every cup of Birds and Beans coffee supports conservation. That's because every bean is triple certified as Smithsonian bird-friendly, representing the highest standards for wildlife habitat preservation. And from Fresh Cut Paper, makers of those beautiful life-sized pop-up floral bouquets that are wilt-proof and crafted to last a lifetime, we have a certificate for 5 bouquets, including bird-themed bouquets. And these bouquets have a small fraction of the carbon footprint of imported flowers. And Fresh Cut Paper partners with 1% for the Planet, whose members contribute at least 1% of their annual revenue to environmental causes. You check out these bouquets. They are gorgeous at freshcutpaper.com. And now, a royal salute. It's to another Talking Birds listener who has stepped up to the plate, shall we say, and become an ambassador, helping us spread the word about the wonder of birds and the importance of conservation. Thank you to Maureen from Menastique, Michigan, right on the northern shore of Lake Michigan and by the eastern edge of Hiawatha National Forest. Thank you, Maureen, for becoming a Talking Birds ambassador. And now here's Emily from Virginia with her reasons for becoming one.
Hi, my name's Emily, and I live right outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. What I really like about the show is the Postcard segment. I enjoy hearing what other folks are listening to and seeing in the world of birds. Becoming a Talkin' Birds ambassador is rewarding because it's a concrete way to participate in a community that spreads information about nature and conservation. It gives me an official reason to nerd out about birds.
Thank you so much, Emily, an audio Postcard fan and Talking Birds ambassador, finding a good reason to nerd out about birds. Talking Birds listeners, will you join Emily and Maureen in our big, happy Talking Birds ambassadors family? Help us reach more folks with the good word about birds and conservation. We hope so. We hope you will. To do it, simply visit talkingbirds.com, no G in talking, and click on that Get Involved tab at the top of the homepage. Once you sign up, we'll send you a small batch of our beautiful little green Talking Birds info cards that you can hand out at your convenience to friends, family, coworkers, anybody else you know that loves or might learn to love birds and nature and our planet. That's the Get Involved tab at talkingbirds.com. Still to come today, inspired by the World Series team named after a familiar bird. We'll talk about some bird and baseball connections. Also today, from Cape Cod's famous Birdwatchers General Store, Mike O'Connor will join us for an almost live Let's Ask Mike installment. This is from a day when we were switching from daylight saving to standard time. Mike will talk about the bird that, surprisingly perhaps, is the most common backyard visitor across North America. And up next, we'll narrate a piece by Al Batt in place of our usual featured feathered friend, presented by the Bigger and Better BWD magazine, with each large format issue packed with beautiful photographs, illustrations, and in-depth articles ranging from backyard birds to birding abroad. Experience birds up close with BWD at bwdmagazine.com. I watched a northern harrier hunt by floating low over the ground. Its buoyant flight reminds many of a butterfly. It was called a marsh hawk when I was a boy. I quite like seeing this raptor. The more, the hairier. 2 young cardinals, their grayish-black bills not turning an orange-red color until the birds are around 65 to 80 days, were stationed one each on 2 platform feeders offering black oil sunflower seeds. From there, they fended off a female purple finch who thought the seeds were for sharing. There was a lot of feigning and stabbing the air with bills, but no apparent harm. The yard blue jays were having a communal cow. It was likely that a perched owl had been discovered. Their most common calls were a harsh, raucous Jay, Jay, Jay. I'm sure a blue jay, a dapper sentry of the neighborhood, is a reliable listener, even though it sounds as if it's a constant interrupter. I marveled at the beauty of the red maple leaves. The leaves had worked hard, and now they get to become what they really want to be, breathtaking beauties. I found it impossible to find a winner in a legion of champion leaves. The words of Al Batt up in Heartland, Minnesota. You can find more of Al's notes about the natural world, along with great photos and more, on his Worth Looking At website, albat.com. That's bat with 2 T's. And you'll find details there of some of Al's talks that'll be coming along in the spring, including at the Michigan Bluebird Society Festival in March and at the Detroit Lakes Festival of Birds in May. And that website again is albat.com. Welcome again to our show number 1061. Well, our plans to connect with the globetrotting David Clapp in Southwest Australia have hit a snag. But in the spirit of baseball's next man up idea, and in honor of the World Series, we have an excellent pinch hitter stepping up to the plate. He's dedicated birder and walking baseball encyclopedia, Patrick Oakes. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Ray. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. You're looking great there in your, let's see, that's not the Toledo. I'm getting mixed up the Toledo Mud Hens and the hat that you're wearing.
The Fayetteville Woodpeckers.
The Woodpeckers. Well, there are 2 other major league teams besides the Blue Jays in the majors, the Baltimore Orioles and the St. Louis Cardinals. But naming teams for birds extends way beyond those. I should have mentioned, we should mention the World Series. It's tied 1-1. Game 3 coming up. So naming teams for birds extends way beyond the majors, especially in the minor league baseball world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There are currently several teams named after birds. And historically, a lot of teams have been named after birds. And minor league baseball is really great at embracing the community where the team is at. Mm-hmm. And if birds play a major role in it, they adapt it into the team name.
Yeah, they got to going local there. But why are there so many baseball teams named for birds? There's a lot of them.
Well, I think luckily for us, birds are very abundant. But also the fact that most baseball, especially minor league baseball, is played outside. And so birds are always flying around. I was thinking about the other day where I was in North Little Rock and the Arkansas Travelers. Their stadium's built right on the Arkansas River. And every game I've gone there's been a beautiful osprey who gets its snack for the game. It's a little bit cheaper than the hot dogs are, and takes it up to the light stands and eats it during the game.
I've told my story here before about the first time I saw a common nighthawk. That was up in the lights at Fenway Park. Watching
absolutely, yeah. There's plenty of great nightjar scene or nighthawk scene in Major League Baseball stadiums.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that many of the team names don't represent actual birds or bird species. So the logo for the Aberdeen Ironbirds is actually a jet airplane with a not very bird-like face. But there's a little story about that too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a nod to 2 things. So they are a affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles, mm-hmm. who famously, one of their great players of all time is Cal Ripken Jr., mm-hmm. who is known as the Iron Man, right, for breaking Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played. So it is the Baltimore Orioles is the bird part, and then the Iron Man connection there, plus the homage to the Aberdeen Proving Grounds, which are there as well for the military.
Wow.
That's why there's a number 8 on the plane, is for Cal Ripken Jr.
Wow, what's in a name? Wow. There's the New Orleans Firebirds, named for a mythical creature from Slavic Folklore, there's the Delmarva shorebirds, the Memphis redbirds. I found one here from back in the 20s, the Henrietta hens. I played in Henrietta, Oklahoma. I guess maybe teams don't want to sound like bird names by using actual bird species, you think?
Yeah, but I think also it just nicknames are such a huge part of sports, and so playing into that adds some of the local flavor into it. Is the Beloit skycarp is a fantastic name, which I was not aware in birding that skycarp is a colloquial term for birds that's supposed to migrate that decide not to anymore.
That don't.
And so Beloit has a lot of Canada geese that just are year-round residents, and so they've embraced that, and that's what they are, the skycarp, which is a non-migrating Canada goose.
Yeah, it's kind of insulting, but what can you do? Well, you got to love the Toledo mud hens. They are kind of named for an actual bird. I'm reading that when the team got started more than 100 years ago, it played at a park by a marshland where you often see American coots, lovingly referred to as mud hens.
Yeah, absolutely. And their logo looks more like a domestic chicken these days, but in the team store, if you do enough diving, there actually are a few pieces of merchandise that have a authentic looking American coot on the logo.
Well, you sent us a picture of the hoodie there with that on there. We'll try to get that up on our website and social media here. Well, Patrick, you have forgotten more about baseball than I will ever know, but I did uncover a bit of trivia related to our bird and baseball conversation here. I think I've discovered, though you already knew this, I should have known, and that is that Blue Jays manager John Schneider played his college baseball with the Delaware Blue Hens. Speaking of chickens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The state bird of Delaware is the blue hen. But, Ray, I think the main reason why baseball and birding go so well together is what a lot of people dismiss them off as is it's too slow, it's boring, and there's not enough action. But I think any birder or any baseball lover will say that the waiting and everything is always worth it for those moments of glory that happen, and they just take your breath away, and they're just wonderful things. So birding and baseball are fantastic things, and you can do them together, which is, proof that God loves us.
Yeah, we've proven that. Patrick Oakes, birder, baseball expert. And one more thing, filling in for David Clapp, who's in Australia. But Patrick, you have your own Australian connection. Would you like to reveal that to our listeners who may not know?
Sure. You could say I'm part of the talking bird flock by marriage. I'm lucky enough to call myself Freya McGregor's husband.
All right. That's a triple play there. Patrick Oakes here on Talking Birds. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you, Ray. Have a great day.
Up next, our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. That's the Mystery Bird. Tell us what it is and win some wonderful prizes here, which you might also win if you don't get the correct answer, because we do a drawing to determine the winner in each case. Our Mystery Bird is a medium-sized member of the Piccadilly family. It has a black and white barred back and pale gray underparts with a red-tinged belly. Males have a red nape and crown. Females have the red nape, but little or no red on the crown. And the phone number to call to tell us what you think that bird is 781-837-1272. 781-837-4900. 781-837-4900. We urge you always call as soon as you can, and we'll give the number again in a moment. Our bird is mostly non-migratory and can be found all over the eastern half of the U.S., lower 48, and parts of southern Canada. Kind of known for not drilling into bark as often as some of its relatives, but it is also known for that long barbed tongue by which it can extract larvae and other prey from deep in holes and crevices. So that's our mystery bird, a big bag of delicious, bird-friendly Birds and Beans coffee is one of our prizes, along with 5 beautiful pop-up floral bouquets from fresh-cut paper. Here's that number again, 781-837-4900. And we'll check in with Mike O'Connor on a day that daylight saving was switching to standard time last time around. Let's ask Mike, almost live from the archive in just 1 minute.
Standing at the edge of a rocky shore, you breathe in the cool, salty air, watching the sun disappear on the horizon. Across the globe, someone begins their day along a sandy beach, listening to the rhythm of the crashing waves. You each envision a world beneath the water, vibrant life in every imaginable form. Now, imagine it's all gone. What was once a place of wonder and beauty is now a dull, lifeless wasteland. Food, jobs, medicine, all gifts from the ocean, all gone. Time is running out to protect our oceans, and without our love, everything the oceans provide can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our oceans. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Mike O'Connor, the famous Mike O'Connor, is there at the famous, I don't know which is more famous. They're both so famous at the Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod. Good morning, Mike.
Wow, good morning, Ray. And you figured out the time. Good, because I've had a little trouble with that today.
Oh, yeah, we got the time. We have clocks here with 2 different times, so we got it covered here. Whatever one we want is the one we can that we can pick.
It's all about diversity, you know? You got it.
Exactly. So, Mike, I know you're about to reveal to us what is the number one bird, or the most, well, you can phrase it maybe better, the most common bird seen at bird feeders, I guess, in the U.S.? According
to Cornell's Feeder Watch, the bird the species that's reported the most, which you would think would be like chickadees or jays or grackles. Everybody at my customers just won't stop talking about grackles or doves. It's none of the above. It's actually the handsome and well-marked juncos, the dark-eyed juncos that come in, and we perhaps most of us don't see juncos in the summer, but they show up in the winter, where they get the name. What are they called, Ray?
I call them snowbirds.
Snowbirds, exactly, because juncos are actually sparrows in the sparrow family, and like most sparrows, in the winter they feed on the ground. And I think in the summer, where they heavily breed up in Canada, and they get out of Canada, and when the weather gets cold, they head down this way, and when the snow covers the ground, they can't find the food, so they just happily come to our backyard. And they'll come from one of the few birds that eat millet. You know, millet is something that they kind of put into a mixie just to, water it down and cheapen the price a little bit. But these birds actually like it. They like the millet. You can put it on a tray, or they'll eat on the ground if your yard isn't too covered in snow, or you clear a spot, put it in a tray. The book I have in my hand was the book I used growing up. List all kinds of juncos. They had the white-winged junco, the pink-sided junco, the Oregon junco, gray-headed, redback, and your friends at the American Ornithological Society, the taxonomists, just like you said about the chat, they decided, you know what, these aren't different birds. They're all the same birds. They're just different subspecies or races. So they combined them, and now they just call them dark-eyed juncos, which covers...
Or dunkos, if you want to you can make a
just call them junco.
Right. Call it dunko.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't want to get too fancy.
Well, I was just reading this list of all the subspecies and the parts of these groups. Like you have the Oregon subspecies, but then you have the Montana and the Nevada and the Schufelds and the Thurbers These are all dark-eyed juncos. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, right. It's very geographically where they grew up, and they kind of changed. And it's kind of dramatic, actually. So you can see how they would think they would be They would be different species, but they're all just a subspecies of each other. And you think about the juncos being common bird, and it shouldn't be surprised because I was just reading there's actually 630 million juncos in North America. That's a huge population. And when you get covered in snow, they got to come to Plan B, which is our backyard.
Yeah.
So if you see juncos, and I just had one in my yard today,
nice.
Put out some millet.
Put out some millet.
Happy.
Okay. That music is too loud, but you got through it anyway.
I plowed my way through it.
Mike, from last year when we were switching over to daylight saving time, or from daylight saving time, which hasn't happened quite yet. This year, back to the Mystery Bird Contest. We'll hear that bird a little bit here one more time, just a tiny little bit of that bird there. Well, we're going to go to our phones here and try to solve our mystery. A few weeks ago, Donna Posant was a guest on our show talking about the wonderful birding by ear course that she teaches at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. And at that time, she said, we'll be listening to the show on Sunday, the 26th, and maybe we'll call in on the Mystery Bird Contest. And we refers to Donna and the Michigan Bird Brains, and they are on the line with us right now. I believe Donna would be the spokesperson. Maybe let's find out. Hello, Donna.
Hey, Ray.
Hello, Donna, and hello, Michigan Bird Brains.
How you guys?
Well, you followed through on your promise or your threat to call in on the Mystery Bird Contest. And you and the Bird Brains there probably heard the clues and whatnot. So you say that bird is there.
Red-bellied woodpecker.
That sounded unanimous. Red-bellied woodpecker, of course, is...
And we have him right here at camp.
All right, nice. Well, that's perfect. Red-bellied woodpecker, our mystery bird. Let's see. Would you and the Bird Brains like to try a bonus question? I believe we have time for that.
Sure.
All right.
You guys want to? I would.
Okay, this is not exactly a bird question, but it's kind of related. Bogong moths. And by the way, we've been doing kind of an Australia theme today, so this carries that on. Bogong moths, looking to escape the heat, travel in the spring from all over southeastern Australia to cool caves in the Australian Alps, where they huddle in a dormant state. The insects then fly all the way back in the fall to mate and die. Researchers replicated the conditions of this amazing journey in the lab and discovered a key tool that the moths used to find their way. What was that key tool? 3 choices here. A, odors emanating from landfills. B, waterways like rivers and streams. Or C, stars in the night sky. What were the moths using for that navigation?
We're all saying see the stars.
Stars in the night sky. Boy, no wonder they call you brains. If they're even bird brains. Oh, exactly right. Eric Warrant, who heads the Division of Sensory Biology at Lund University in Sweden, says they use the stars as a compass to find a specific geographic direction to navigate. And he says this is a first for invertebrates. So there you go.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Donna, and thank you, Bird Brains.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
We're out of time for the show this morning. We'll be putting another one together for next week. Thanks to our great Talking Birds team, Debbie Bleacher, Frey McGregor, and Jesse Wilkins. I'm Ray Brown. See you next week.
The Bird Show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.